you absolutely lovely people. How are you doing today? My name is Justin, and today we're listening to, sorry for mispronouncing the name, Fela Kuti, with his song Water Get No Enemy. This is off of his album Expensive Stuff, which was released in 1975. I have never heard any of his music. I have heard the name in passing in the comments, but also on sites like RYM. But as far as I know, and I'm pretty sure, I have never heard of his music. I'm just looking on Wikipedia just to get a little bit of an idea. He was a Nigerian multi-instrumentalist, band leader, composer, political activist, and Pan-Africanist. He is considered the pioneer of Afrobeat. So I don't think I've ever listened to Afrobeat. I may have. There's always a possibility. There's things I've listened to and I have no idea, but I don't think I've ever heard of it. But this will be the day, the time to find out, and I hope that you guys enjoy the journey with me. You can follow me on Twitter. You can join me in the comments down below. You can support the channel on Patreon. But for now, I hope that you're having a wonderful day. And let's do it. This is Water No Get Enemy by Fela Kuti.
wẹ̀ omi ló máa lò. If you want go wash, na water you go use. Tó o bá fẹ́ ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀ omi ló máa lò. If you want cook soup, na water you go use. Torí bá ń gbóná omi lẹ̀rọ rẹ o. If your head dey hot, na water go cool am. Tọ́mọ bá ń dàgbà omi ló máa lò. If your child dey grow, na water him go use. If water kill your child, na water you go use. Tómi bá pamọ́ ẹ o, omi náà ló máa lò. Kò sóhun tó lè ṣe kó o má lómi o. Nothing without water. Kò sóhun tó lè ṣe kó o má lómi o. Omi yóò lọ ta o.
Water, you don't get any.
Omi yóò lọ ta o.
Water, you don't get any.
If you fight them unless you wonder.
You don't get any.
I say water no get enemy.
Water, you don't get any.
If you fight them unless you wonder.
You don't get any.
Omi yóò lọ ta o.
Water, you don't get any.
I dey talk of black man power.
Water, you don't get any.
I dey talk of black power. I say,
You don't get any.
I say water no get enemy.
Water, you don't get any.
If you fight them unless you won't die.
Water, you don't get any.
I say water no get enemy.
You don't get any.
I say water no get enemy.
You don't get any.
Omi yóò lọ ta o.
You don't get any.
Omi yóò lọ ta o.
You don't get any.
Ra-di-ra-di-ra-ra-di-ra-ra-ra.
want to know what you guys thought before I start talking. Whoops. I didn't go to Diggable Planets. I want to know what you guys thought before I even start talking. Because, well, I'm going to start talking now, so hope you wrote it down. But I thought that was a perfect jam. That was awesome. Like, I put that on my playlist, like, quick. Like, very, very quick. Let me just put that down. Where do I even start? Love the brass riffs. I mean, the whole horn section is just it's just charging ahead. I mean, it just feels great. The whole thing feels so deep. It feels deep. It feels rich. It feels like you're mining and you struck gold. You struck diamonds. Like, wow. I'm really impressed. I'm really, really impressed. Perfectly danceable with a good message as well. I love the message. I mean, there's poetry in the lyrics, so we're going to get into that. But like I said, I've never heard, or at least heard of, or heard music from Mr. Kuti. Let's make sure I'm pronouncing his name right. You know, let's type in how to pronounce his name, because I don't want to put any disrespect on his name.
Fela Kuti.
Fela. Okay, Fela. I'm putting a little bit of French on it.
Fela Kuti.
Fela. Okay. But I said the last name right, Kuti. All right. So Fela Kuti, let me tell you what he's playing on this thing, okay? He's playing saxophone, tenor and alto, piano, the vocals, love his singing, so great. And then of course he's arranging and composing everything. Saxophone playing, so tastefully jazzy and tastefully played. Not like over crazy and overplaying, like he plays along with the music. Same exact thing you get with the piano when he's playing that as well. It flows with the music. It's not made to be flashy or like a solo. He's playing a lead, but he's doing it according to the music. He's doing it according to the beat. And it's not even until like, I don't even know what minute his vocals came in, but it's not till like at least I would think halfway through that his vocals come in. But what a strong presence they have. They change all of the music, and yet at the same time they change nothing in the music. The song is still grooving, still rhythmic. The saxophones and the horns, they back off just a tiny bit before they come back in. But what a presence he has vocally. He has a very strong voice. You can feel passion in his voice. You can feel emotion in his singing. And it feels like he's talking about reality. It feels like he's talking about life and from experience. You know, there's different kinds of writing and there's different kind of vocal deliveries. And listen, everything has a place. Like every sort of vocal delivery, vocal talent has a place in music and in the song you're singing. But I think that Mr. Fela, he sings with such a human and a humanity, I would say, about him, that I connect personally immediately. And I'm drawn into every single word that he's saying, every single lyric that he's throwing out there. I may not understand it all right away, but I know that there's something there. There's a connection that I'm getting with him. Musically, like I said, it's dancey, which is fun. You can easily put this on and just groove out. As a matter of fact, I'm sure a lot of you will probably at least tapping your feet while you're listening to it. Maybe you're washing dishes in the kitchen and your hips are moving, okay? Your hips don't lie. Shakira said so. One thing I like, and I'd love to see what kind of music Fela was influenced by, because it sounds, like I said, very, in parts, jazzy, but also there's some blues in the piano. But at the same time, it is distinctly of an African nature, in this case, Nigerian, which I think really is mostly in part to the percussion. There's so many extra percussive elements to the song. Honestly, I couldn't even name all of them. I'm sure there's congas and shakers and things like that. There's probably more in-depth going on in the instrumentation side of it, but just the percussion adds so much to it. One thing I also like is listening, I don't remember exactly the minute. It'd probably be a while to find it. But I like how the chanting comes in alongside the melodies of the instruments. For example, the horns. In the back, you can hear the faint but very distinct tone of voices singing out joyously and harmoniously with the excitement of the music, with the brass, with the horns. And I love that element. I love the human element in music like this, because it's people that are behind all these instruments. And sometimes you want to hear those people. And the guitar is also just very smooth. That's all good. It's not about till halfway that vocals come in. I connect with that immediately.
If you want to go wash, now what are you going to use?
That is rich, that is beautiful, that is soulful. And then later on, his voice even becomes a little more angry, a little bit more upset, which I don't have the historical know to exactly explain what's going on, but he's definitely comparing the metaphor of water to something else, which we'll talk about shortly. That's so good.
I say water, no.
I don't even want to describe it. It just sounds so good. Let's talk about the lyrics. Now, some of the lyrics are definitely in another language, of which I'm not exactly sure. It looks like it's in the Yoruba language, so I'm not even going to try to pronounce those words. I'm just going to speak on the English ones. But the lyrics: if you want go wash, a water you go use. If you want cook soup, a water you go use. If your head dey hot, a water go cool on. If your child dey grow, a water he go use. Right? So water is used in all these different aspects of life: to make your soup, to wash yourself, to keep cool when you're hot. And then he changes a little bit. He says, if water kill your child, no water you gonna use. Like, if water kills your child, for example, if your kid drowns, God forbid, but if a kid is drowned in water, that doesn't mean that doesn't mean that water is bad, right? So kind of the title of the song, water no get enemy. Water isn't your enemy. And even if the effects of water, causes bad things, that doesn't mean like you can make water your enemy, because you need water for life. Like, you cannot do that, right? And then he goes on to say, nothing without water, water him no get enemy, water him no get enemy. Now, in the second half of the vocal performance, now he takes the metaphor for water and applies it, I would assume, to something else. If you fight, unless you one die, I say water get no enemy. If you fight, unless you one die, water him no get enemy. Here we go. I dey talk of black man power, I dey talk of black man power. I say water no get enemy. If you fight him, unless you one die. So I don't know exactly what's going on, but I would imagine there's racial issues going on. It seems like he's talking possibly about Nigeria at this point, or maybe America. I'm not sure. Perhaps talking about how even though certain things are bad, certain things are necessary and you can't stop using them, like in comparing things to water, but I'm not quite sure what. That's the question. So I'm reading this strictly off of Genius. And it says, Black Power, of course, is a political slogan and a name for various associated ideologies aimed at achieving freedom and self-determination for people of African descent around the world. Okay. Fela calls out the Black Power political leaders to make them aware about their role within Black society. If the leaders mislead or use their powers against people, that would drown the whole Black society. Because the followers of the Black Power movement are the ones keeping the movement alive, just like water to human life. Okay, so it's almost like, be careful you don't misuse your power. We need you, but don't misuse your power, because you could drown the movement, you could drown our voices, and you could make this whole thing moot. So be careful with what you do. We need you, but be careful, right? But of course, it's put into this really fun, dancey vibe. But I mean, that's such a beautiful merger of lyricism, message, and music. You bring it all together. That is really cool. I'm just reading a little bit about, information on him. Like I said, I've never heard of him before, so I'm just taking a peek at some info. It looks like he was continually raided from the military in Nigeria because he was so outspoken against them. So recording wise, they would constantly raid him and I guess destroy instruments, and he would have to escape them. Okay. Well, this almost had me saying something on this channel. Let me read this really quick. During one raid, Kuti was severely beaten and his elderly mother was fatally injured after being thrown from a window. The commune was burnt down and Kuti's studio, instruments, and master tapes were destroyed. Kuti later claimed that he would have been killed if not for the commanding officer's intervention. Kuti's response to the attack was to deliver his mother's coffin to some barracks in Lagos, and he wrote 2 songs. What? That's something. How do you throw someone's mother out of a window? That's something else. Anyways, let me know what you guys thought of the song. Join me on Twitter. Join me in the comments down below. I hope that you enjoyed the music and the video. Hope that you're in a good mood. And I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye.